On the crisp morning of November 11th, 2024, Birmingham Airport pulsed with its usual rhythm, planes roaring in, travelers hauling luggage, and security teams eyeing the bustling arrivals hall. Beneath this facade of routine, three chilling tales of crime were poised to erupt, each exposing a web of greed and deception. A cunning matriarch dragged her own children into a sprawling drug syndicate. A reckless dealer's airport misstep unveiled a lethal arsenal, and a brazen smuggler gambled he could slip a fortune in narcotics past customs. Crime Pulse dives deep into the electrifying saga of their audacious schemes, their catastrophic collapses, and the relentless justice that exposed the sinister currents surging through Britain's airports. Welcome to Crime Pulse, where we dig into the cases that scar Britain's communities, exposing the power struggles, deception, and greed at the heart of the drug trade life. If you're new here, please subscribe to join our pursuit that uncover the hidden truths of this underworld. To the outside world, Farzana Kauser, a 54-year-old grandmother from Bradford, embodied the essence of ordinary family life. Neighbors saw a devoted matriarch, juggling household chores, organizing family dinners, and blending seamlessly into the rhythm of her close-knit community. Her days appeared filled with mundane tasks, yet beneath this meticulously crafted veneer of normalcy, Kauser was the mastermind of a multi-million-pound drug empire, orchestrating a sophisticated smuggling operation that funneled vast quantities of cocaine from Mexico to the UK with ruthless precision. Investigators would later unmask her as the linchpin of a sprawling trafficking network, a web of deception that spanned continents and ensnared a cast of international players. Court evidence exposed her clandestine ties to shadowy figures, including a cryptic contact known only as Uncle in Pakistan, who brokered high-stakes deals and secured drug shipments from Mexican cartels. This covert alliance transformed what seemed like harmless family vacations, weekend getaways, or short European trips into the cornerstone of a criminal machine designed to flood Britain's streets with high-purity cocaine. Unlike traditional crime bosses who insulate their families from their illicit dealings, Kauser made a chilling choice. She wove her own children into the heart of her deadly enterprise, exploiting familial loyalty to fuel her ambition. Her youngest, Hamza Shafiq, was just 17, a teenager still navigating the trials of adolescence, dreams of college, and a future brimming with possibility. Yet, under his mother's iron command, his path veered into darkness, his innocence shattered as he was thrust into the perilous world of drug smuggling. His siblings, ranging from their late teens to early 30s, were equally ensnared in her web. Junaid Shafiq, 33, became Kauser's trusted lieutenant, a pivotal figure who coordinated travel itineraries and oversaw the operation's logistics with a devotion that blurred the line between family duty and criminal allegiance. Mohammed Amir Shafiq, 28, served as a courier, navigating crowded airport terminals with suitcases stuffed with cocaine, his every step dictated by his mother's unrelenting control. Umair Mohammed, only 22, was pulled into the conspiracy at an age when most young adults are carving out careers, starting families, or chasing personal dreams. Instead, he faced the raw dangers of international trafficking, risking his freedom for a cause that was never his own. Kauser's influence extended further, ensnaring her daughter-in-law, Farzana Hussain, 27, who might have expected a quieter role as a new family member, but was instead dragged into the criminal fray as a courier. Even Safanur, a mere 19, was not spared. Barely out of her teens, she was conscripted to ferry drugs, her youth offering no shield against her mother's manipulative demands. This ruthless recruitment of her youngest kin laid bare the depths of Kauser's ambition, turning her family into pawns in her high-stakes game. Beyond the immediate family, Khalid Abdul Qawi, a 36-year-old trusted friend, pledged his allegiance to the operation, his involvement forging an even tighter, more toxic bond within the group. This was no loose-knit scheme. It was a meticulously crafted hierarchy, with Kauser as the ruthless queenpin at its apex. She choreographed every detail, from flight schedules to baggage pickups, issuing orders with the precision of a general and expecting unwavering obedience. For her children and their spouses, loyalty to their mother came at a devastating cost: their freedom, their futures, and their moral compasses. For Kauser, it was a chilling fusion of maternal authority and criminal cunning. her suburban family life a perfect smokescreen for a cartel poised to unleash chaos on Britain's streets. The genius of Farzana Kauser's conspiracy lay in its cunning disguise, a meticulously choreographed airport routine that screamed ordinary. To the casual observer, her family's movements mirrored those of carefree tourists jetting off for quick European escapes, blending seamlessly into the bustling crowds at Birmingham Airport. But beneath this slick cover, their travel plans were a masterclass in deception, precision-timed to hijack a deadly stream of luggage, suitcases brimming with high-purity cocaine. The operation was a high-stakes game of smoke and mirrors, designed to outwit even the sharpest customs agents. It all started with sham trips. Family members booked flights to Dublin or Amsterdam, popular short-haul hotspots, traveling light with just a backpack or carry-on, no checked bags in sight. These jaunts looked like harmless weekend getaways, the kind any family might take. But the real brilliance was in the timing. Their return flights were carefully synced to land at Birmingham Airport, just as a long-haul jet from Cancun touched down, its cargo hold stuffed with illicit treasure. In the chaotic baggage claim, where travelers from both flights swarmed the carousels, Kauser's couriers sprang into action. With calculated calm, they zeroed in on the Mexico flight's belt, targeting pre-loaded suitcases packed with kilos of cocaine by a corrupt insider in Cancun. The plan was breathtakingly simple. Snatch the unclaimed bags, roll them through the arrivals hall like they were their own, and vanish into the crowd. To the untrained eye, it was just another family grabbing their luggage. Nothing to raise an eyebrow. This wasn't a one-off stunt. Reports hint that global drug networks had perfected this tactic before, and Kauser's clan ran it like clockwork across at least 5 smuggling ops between August and November 2024. No need for hidden compartments or trick suitcases. The risk hinged on that heart-pounding moment of interception, executed with audacious simplicity. The family's cool-headedness was the linchpin. Dressed in casual clothes, moving with practiced ease, and avoiding any nervous tics, they banked on blending in, their composure the key to dodging customs' watchful gaze. On November 11, 2024, National Crime Agency, NCA officers, and airport security teams were coiled like springs, eyes locked on a group whose slick travel patterns had been flagged after weeks of relentless investigation. Farzana Kauser's crew had been on their radar, their every move dissected, and this time the net was tightening. As a long-haul jet from Cancun, Mexico, roared onto the tarmac, Kauser's couriers slipped into the chaotic baggage claim, blending seamlessly with the swarm of travelers. CCTV footage later exposed their chilling composure, calmly staking out the Mexico carousel, poised to snatch suitcases that weren't theirs. 6 bags, stuffed with high-purity cocaine by a shadowy overseas insider, were the prize. Their plan was deceptively simple. Grab the bags, roll them through the terminal, and melt into the crowd like ordinary passengers. But every step was under the NCA's piercing gaze, their routine now a ticking time bomb. The moment they lifted those cocaine-laden suitcases was the final nail in their coffin. CCTV captured their audacious routine in crystal clarity, Kauser's team wheeling the heavy bags through the terminal's sliding doors, striding confidently across the forecourt, blending with travelers heading for pickups. They thought they'd pulled it off, dragging their illicit haul toward waiting cars in the airport lot. But the NCA was ready. In a heartbeat, officers swooped in, surrounding the 6 suspects in a lightning-fast sting. Before the bags could leave the grounds, the entire crew was cuffed, and the suitcases, packing a jaw-dropping 180 kilograms of tightly wrapped cocaine blocks, were seized. The haul's value was staggering, £5 million wholesale, skyrocketing to £14.4 million on the streets once cut into smaller deals. For the NCA, this wasn't just a bust. It was the shattering of a family-run trafficking empire that had exploited Birmingham Airport's bustle for months. Later, the Crown Prosecution Service, CPS, released chilling images of the seized cocaine, stacked like bricks, a stark testament to the family's reckless gamble. But before we dive into the courtroom fallout for the Kauser clan, brace for another jaw-dropping Birmingham Airport case, one sparked by a single, fatal slip. On a brisk February morning in 2016, Birmingham Airport's security team was running routine checks at the departure gates scanning bags and eyeing passengers with practiced precision. Among the crowd, Majid Hussain, a 41-year-old from Saltley, blended in seamlessly. A seasoned traveler headed to Pakistan, his carry-on slung casually over his shoulder. But one fleeting moment turned his world upside down. A sharp-eyed officer spotted a wrap of heroin tucked plainly in his hand luggage. No hidden compartments, no clever disguises, just a brazen packet of Class A drugs staring back from his bag. The discovery stunned investigators for its sheer audacity. Hussain, a man later described as a dangerous high-level dealer, hadn't bothered with elaborate concealment. Was it arrogance, assuming he'd glide through security, or a careless blunder born of haste? Either way, that single wrap of heroin lit a fuse that would detonate his entire operation. Airport staff sounded the alarm, and Hussain was cuffed on the spot, his calm facade crumbling as scrutiny intensified. What seemed like a minor find, a small packet in a carry-on, quickly snowballed into a sprawling investigation, hinting at a far darker criminal underworld. That tiny oversight became the thread that unraveled Hussain's hidden empire. The heroin wasn't a one-off. It was a glaring clue to his deep ties to Birmingham's drug trade. Within hours, authorities zeroed in on his Nansen road home, where a search would uncover a shocking stockpile, drugs, weapons, and cash, that painted him as a kingpin, not a casual traveler. This wasn't just an airport slip-up. It was the spark that exposed a lethal network, forever altering Hussain's fate. With Majid Hussain cuffed at Birmingham Airport on that fateful February morning, National Crime Agency officers moved like lightning, securing warrants to storm his Nansen Road home in Saltley. What started as a routine bust for a single wrap of heroin in his carry-on exploded into a chilling revelation, peeling back the layers of a far darker and more dangerous operation. The raid shattered any illusion that Hussain was a small-time courier who slipped up. Instead, it unmasked him as a towering figure in Birmingham's underworld, commanding a deadly arsenal of drugs and weapons. The search zeroed in on Hussain's bedroom, where officers unearthed a trove of horrors hidden in plain sight. Tucked beneath his bed was a suitcase bursting with illicit treasure, a kilo of heroin and 4 kilos of cocaine, with a street value pegged at a staggering £250,000. This wasn't a one-off stash. The drugs confirmed Hussain's role as a linchpin in a thriving distribution network. The airport wrap merely a spark in his vast criminal blaze, but the narcotics were just the beginning of the nightmare. Scattered across the property, investigators uncovered a terrifying arsenal that cemented Hussain's menace, a loaded semi-automatic handgun, primed with 27 rounds of live ammunition, lay ready for lethal use. Nearby, a stun gun, cunningly disguised as a mobile phone, hinted at his readiness to strike without raising suspicion. An air pistol rounded out the hall, painting a grim picture of a man armed to enforce his empire or fend off rivals. The weapon screamed violence, a stark reminder of the chaos fueling Birmingham's drug trade. Most damning of all was the discovery of £300,000 in cash, stuffed in bundles throughout the house. The stacks of notes were a glaring testament to Hussain's illicit wealth, reaped from years of peddling misery, while his community grappled with addiction and bloodshed. The raid left no room for doubt. Hussain wasn't a hapless traveler caught out by a careless mistake. He was a ruthless kingpin, his home a fortress of drugs, guns, and dirty money, anchoring a toxic network that thrived in the shadows. In August 2016, Birmingham Crown Court became the stage for Majid Hussain's dramatic downfall, as prosecutors unveiled the full scope of his sinister operations. With meticulous precision, they walked the jury through the damning evidence already laid bare in the airport sting and home raid, painting Hussain not as a bumbling traveler, but as a ruthless kingpin fueling Birmingham's drug underworld. On the trial's opening day, Hussain, cornered by the overwhelming case against him, threw in the towel and pleaded guilty. His charges were a grim litany: possession of a prohibited firearm, a disguised stun gun, live ammunition, Class A drugs with intent to supply, and criminal property. His admission spared a drawn-out trial, but the truth was undeniable. His empire was crumbling. At sentencing, Judge Patrick Thomas, QC, didn't mince words. He branded the blend of guns and drugs a lethal cocktail, a chilling threat to the public that demanded harsh punishment. The gavel fell, slamming Hussain with a 12-year prison sentence, a stark rebuke for his reign of chaos. But the law's grip didn't loosen there. West Midlands police pursued him relentlessly, dragging him into a Proceeds of Crime Act, hearing to strip away his ill-gotten wealth. For them, seizing his profits was as critical as locking him up, a strike at the heart of his criminal legacy. In December 2017, Birmingham Crown Court ruled that Hussain had reaped hundreds of thousands through his drug empire. He was ordered to repay £295,000 within 3 months, or face an extra 3 years behind bars on top of his 12-year term. Investigators also flagged an additional £33,000 in criminal profits, still unrecovered, to be chased as more assets surfaced. Hussain's collapse, sparked by a careless airport slip, was complete, but another smuggler's audacious gamble was about to unravel. Birmingham Airport's steady hum was shattered when Border Force officers zeroed in on a passenger whose cool exterior masked a fortune in narcotics. Mohammed Uzair Rashid, a 35-year-old from Oldham, Greater Manchester, strolled off a flight from Sialkot, Pakistan, via Dubai, blending seamlessly with weary travelers. His calm stride belied the lethal cargo in his checked luggage, a haul that would soon expose his role in a sprawling drug empire. In a stark secondary search room, Border Force officers, their instincts sharpened by years of intercepting contraband, unzipped Rashid's bags. What they found was staggering: 18 kilograms of heroin, carefully concealed in tightly wrapped packages. Forensic analysis later confirmed the drug's terrifying purity, 66% to 71%, with a street value surpassing £900,000, enough to devastate communities with addiction and crime. The National Crime Agency, NCA, later released eerie CCTV footage showing Rashid navigating the terminal with chilling calm, guiding his tainted suitcase with steady hands, betraying no sign of the illicit haul within. But when officers confronted him with the heroin, his cool facade shattered. He first claimed the bags weren't his, a lie quickly dismantled by boarding passes and baggage tags tying them directly to him. Desperate, he shifted to a new defense, insisting the drugs were planted by an unknown party, a frantic attempt to slip the tightening grip of justice. The truth was locked in his mobile phone. Among ordinary contacts and apps, investigators uncovered WhatsApp messages with a mysterious Pakistani contact he called Brother. These exchanges revealed a chilling reality. This handler was orchestrating Rashid's every move, offering real-time guidance as he passed through airports. One message stood out starkly. As Rashid approached Birmingham's security checks, his nerves fraying, Brother texted, "Remain tension-free. God will be generous." Intended to steady Rashid's composure, these words now served as damning evidence of a mastermind directing him from afar. The messages laid bare a sophisticated network that funded international flights, recruited couriers like Rashid, and coordinated seamless smuggling operations across borders. Far from a lone smuggler, Rashid was a vital piece in a ruthless global machine, his arrest exposing weaknesses that the NCA swiftly moved to exploit. The phone messages didn't just confirm Rashid's guilt, they provided a roadmap to pursue the network's elusive architects, marking a critical blow to their operations. At Birmingham Crown Court, May 2023, Mohammed Uzair stood in the dock, his once steely composure replaced by grim resignation. He pleaded guilty to importing Class A drugs, admitting he knowingly smuggled 18 kilograms of high-purity heroin, worth over £900,000 on the streets, into the UK from Pakistan via Dubai. His plea sidestepped a grueling trial, but the evidence from his airport bust, including damning WhatsApp messages with his Pakistani handler, left no room for escape. Rashid's role as a vital cog in a ruthless global drug network was laid bare, his carefully crafted facade of an ordinary traveler now in tatters. The judge's verdict was unrelenting, condemning Rashid's actions as a catastrophic assault on communities ravaged by addiction and crime. The gavel fell with a thunderous crack, sentencing him to 9 years behind bars, a searing rebuke for his part in fueling a deadly trade. The National Crime Agency, NCA, hailed the ruling as a stark warning to would-be smugglers. The promise of quick riches will always be crushed by the law's relentless pursuit. Yet the NCA's mission didn't end with Rashid's conviction. They launched a Proceeds of Crime Act hearing to seize his illicit gains, determined to dismantle the financial roots of the syndicate that backed him. While specific details of the hearing remain under wraps, investigators vowed to hunt down every asset tied to his crimes, ensuring his profits fueled no further chaos. As Rashid's empire crumbled, the spotlight now shifts back to the Bradford family, caught at Birmingham Airport, to uncover the consequences they faced in their own courtroom showdown. On July 18, 2025, Birmingham Crown Court became an arena of reckoning where the Kauser family's ruthless drug empire faced its cataclysmic end. Farzana Kauser, the unyielding mastermind, stood at the heart of this dark saga, her commanding grip on a heroin trafficking syndicate exposed through relentless evidence from Birmingham Airport busts. Prosecutors, with surgical clarity, unveiled a dynasty that profited from addiction and despair, slamming Farzana with a 13-year and 4-month prison sentence, a fierce condemnation of her role in poisoning communities. Her children, entangled in the family's illicit web, faced equally harsh justice. Junaid Shafiq, 33, a key orchestrator, was handed 10 years and 9 months behind bars. Mohammed Amir Shafiq, 28, received 8 years and 9 months, while Umair Mohammed, 22, was sentenced to 8 years and 9 months, 1 month for their roles in the smuggling conspiracy. Hamza Shafiq, just 17 during the illicit runs, turned 18 by the trial. The Crown Prosecution Service noted his sentencing was deferred to October 2025, leaving his fate unresolved at the time of reporting. Safa Noor, 19, a willing accomplice, was jailed for 7 years and 2 months. Sarah Hussain, 27, the family's daughter-in-law, escaped immediate custody with a 2-year suspended sentence, a rare leniency in the court's ironclad judgment. Khalid Abdul Qawi, 36, the lone non-family member, was struck with 10 years and 9 months, his loyalty to the Kausers costing him dearly. The National Crime Agency, NCA, celebrated the sentences as a crushing blow to a toxic dynasty, a warning to others that family ties offer no shield from justice. As the Kausers' legacy collapsed under the weight of their crimes, the echoes of their downfall reverberated, a stark reminder of the law's unrelenting reach. What's your take on these harrowing stories and the punishments meted out? Did the judges go too lenient on the family ties, or was justice served with blistering precision? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from fellow true crime enthusiasts like you. If this deep dive into the darker undercurrents of Britain's airports left you hooked and hungry for more, smash that like button, subscribe to Crime Pulse for your weekly dose of riveting breakdowns, and hit the notification bell to never miss our next pulse-pounding case.